All right, we've got our chickens here and we let them free range in this area here, all around the farm really, all over the place. They go everywhere, off into the woods, everything. They go into, on the other side of that fence, into the woods too. And we had we lost a couple chickens, so what we're gonna do is either coyotes or fox or stray dog ate a couple of our chickens. So we've got Starkline electric netting we're going to put up. This is 164 feet of netting. I think it's 42 inches tall or 48 inches tall, I'm not sure. I got the tallest one I could get. So we're going to net the area around the coop, and I've got a extension cord run from the house out here, and we're going to put the energizer inside one of these coops. There's a small coop over here and a bigger one here. Probably the small coop we'll have to put it in, and then we're going to let all the birds loose in there and see how they do. This is a type of netting. It doesn't have both negative and positive wires in it. It's all hot wires. The type of netting I bought, it's all hot wires, and then you ground it with a grounding rod. Some of them, if you have a really dry ground, they have hot and positive and negative wires. So basically you run it has a wire that runs back to the charger, and you don't use the ground as a, the dirt as an earth ground. So we'll show you. We're going to do the setup now. See how it looks when we get down here. What's nice about this, one of the reasons I want to get it, you can kind of move the net around pretty easily. They say it takes like 10 or 15 minutes, and you can kind of move the net to different areas and let them graze off different areas. There's a tall weedy area here. We'll probably have to mow some of that down if we're going to run it through there. But we'll get going with the setup here. We're unboxing. All right, we're gonna see what else is in the box here. This is the box. This is the way the box came. It was broken on the end there, and that end piece was just laying on it. So it got damage in shipping. Hopefully everything is still in here. I think we have everything, as far as you can tell. We're gonna untie this and we'll start rolling it out. Okay, so we got the first section here, and I think they said there's 10 feet between the poles. So this first section has all the conductors on it, and it's crimped together so you can attach your energizer. And the way they have it packaged, all the poles are together, so it kind of zigzags back and forth so they can lay all the poles. Now here's the second pole. So we're just going to lay it on the ground for now. We're just going to walk it around the area that we're going to lay it out. Okay, so you definitely need two people to lay this net out. So what I'm doing is I'm walking backwards with one hand on this poles and one hand on the netting. She's holding it right now, because the way they do it, they zigzag it back and forth here, and then she's taking and kind of untangling and laying the poles on the ground as we go. And we'll probably have to come back, so I'm not sure how much area this is going to take up, so we'll have to either rearrange the circle somehow. Once we get it all laid out, we'll see how much it covers. All right, we're coming around. We've got a pretty good circle here. I noticed when you put the poles in, you kind of want to get them as tight as you can, that bottom. See how straight it is? I got it tensioned pretty tight. But then once you step them into the ground, it's going to loosen up on you a little bit. Not too bad. It actually holds up pretty straight. We'll probably have to go back and readjust these poles a little bit. But see, there's just sagging a little here. But if you make it as far over, a little farther than you need to be, and then when you push it in, it should hold a pretty good tension for you. Just got a little bit more to go here. Oh boy, it's not easy to pull out of the ground, I tell you. Because it's got double prongs on it. It's hard to pull up. So I'm gonna come back a little bit. And I'm angling the poles back a little bit. When I drive them in, I'm kind of angling them back, and then when I get it drove in, it kind of springs straight up and down. So I like the way it looks. Looks pretty good. Except for this one, we need to tighten that up a little bit. It probably wouldn't matter if it's loose a little. So this will be,
How do you get in here?
You'll have to pull the pole up every time you want to get in. Just what we'll do is we'll disconnect it off of here so you don't get shocked, and then make sure you grab onto just the fiberglass part. And then, yeah.
Should put that over near the door. This.
Yeah, we may have to move it right towards the door there, because we'll run the cord underneath.
There we go. That's better.
From the Energizer. We'll see how this works. Yeah, we could always put something that, yeah, like a little something to hold that pole there too. Well, here we go. We got that set up. It was pretty easy. You definitely need 2 people though, and it's when you're laying the net out, it's kind of difficult. You have to kind of drag it backwards, and one person has to kind of unfold it. So we'll show you the area here. It's a pretty good sized area. You know, I like to have it bigger. We can get another net, make it twice the size. But I'd guess it's, 50 feet across at least. All right, so there's a couple other things you'll need to get this fence electrified. You're gonna need a charger, which I got a charger up here. And I got some old alligator clips from a battery charger. This is from an old battery charger. The wire on this is not rated to 8,000 volts that charger puts out. So when you run this, if you do use something like this, and it's not made for electric fence, it's going to arc through the insulation. So make sure you're not touching anything metal with the wire that goes to ground. And I got my wire stripper, and I'm going to drill a hole right in here on the coop. Here's my charger. I'm going to hang the charger inside where it's nice and dry. And then I'll run the wire out here, connect up. So anytime I want to take the electricity off, I can just undo that alligator clip off in there. This is how I got it set up. I just pushed the grounding rod in a little bit by hand. I got to pound it in the rest of the way here. So this is a 3-foot grounding rod. I'm going to pound that in the rest of the way, and then I've got 2 holes drilled into the coop here. I've got my Energizer in there. Actually, the Energizer's hot right now. And I just connected the Energizer right here. I got the Energizer hanging in there, and I connected one wire to ground, one to hot. So that comes out. My ground wire here and my hot wire, all I have to do is, when I want to energize, just connect this alligator clip to it like that. Now it's energized. And how this works is the net is positive, and you're the ground basically. So I got my Energizer grounded to this rod, and what will happen is if I touch the fence, so it gave me a pretty good shock. I don't know if you can hear that. Hear that clicking? That's it's shocking me. This, I'm not sure how much that's putting out, It's not too uncomfortable for me. Hear it clicking? It's like a strong static shock, but I've got rubber sole shoes on, and animals do not have rubber sole shoes. So if I was to get barefoot and grab onto this, it'll feel like your tendons and your muscles are coming out of your arm. They give you a good wallop. I've got a fence mate. I'm going to test the voltage on there. I'm going to go all around the whole fence and test the voltage. But basically how this works is when I grab onto the fence, it shocks me. The electricity goes through me and comes back through the ground, through the dirt, into the fence charger. It completes the circuit, and that's how you get shocked. So we're going to go, we'll test this system now. We're going to go ahead and test the fence. I hear a snapping noise right over here. So I think the fence, because it's sagging right here, is grounding out. So we may not have a real good voltage here. You got around 5,000 volts right now on that wire. See if I can tell how many amps. There's the amperage. It was 4, and it showed the direction going this way. So our polarity's right. Can you hear it snapping? So one of these, it just rained last night, so the grass is a little wet. So it's grounding out right here. We'll need to straighten this fence up. And I think that's the key to getting a good voltage on this fence, is to make sure all your ropes are not touching the ground or vegetation. Okay, I came and I tightened the net up a little bit, or it's sagging a few places. Let's see how our voltage is now. The most we got before was 5,000. It was like 3 to 5. Okay, now we're at 6,400 kilovolts. 6,400. That's more like it. That'll